Right, we're live, and it's just gonna be the most unprofessional stream ever. It's just chill. I've come back from the gym, so I don't care. So I'm just gonna talk. There's no flashy lights behind me this time. You got my cat. Whatever she's doing. So just gonna chat about Mortal Kombat, anything and everything. If people want to pop in, they can let me know. Gabbo's just come in. You can pop in if you want into the chat. Just let me know if you want to actually come onto the stream. So I've got someone ready. You've probably seen him before. He's in all my streams. So I'll pop him in a minute. And we'll just... Whatever. I'm too knackered. But actually, I'll be back in a minute. Just going to get my drink. Here you go. Get my drink. I'm sorted now. Right. So, what should we talk about? We're going to go into what's recent when it comes to the new movie, the new Mortal Kombat sequel. People are talking about directors at the minute. So, there's a name floating around, and people seem to be all for it, but they're not giving the actual reasons for it. So, we'll talk about that. But first, I'll get Chris in. You've seen him before. His name's Chris German. He's good at the paintings. He was on my last stream, so I'm going to introduce him right now. Welcome, Chris.
Hello.
How's it going?
Not bad. You're looking tired.
We're just chilling tonight. Gabbo comes in and says, "Yeah, that's the guy, James Gunn." Everyone seems to be going, "Yes, James Gunn, yes," because he's a big time director. Okay, he's big time director. He's got name recognition on all the jazz. He's got all the pulling power. But how much of the budget is going to be eaten getting him in? That's the crux of this. It's like he's probably going to be the biggest guy there. He's obviously going to demand a lot from budget. So
it depends how much they increase the budget, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's probably going to hurt the overall production.
Yeah.
If they get someone like that in, unless they do dealings on the table and say, right, we'll pay so much for over the years, or a bonus scheme after. But some directors don't. They demand the money upright and then eat into the budget straight away, and it's like it's not going to work. I think it's going to hurt the movie getting someone like him in. Especially when most of the budget should be going on CGI, the big scenes, the length of the film.
That's when money really starts to run away. Is when you put it into the CGI and all the creative side of things. So it depends how much the studio's investing into it, I guess, versus the film that came before. So.
Remember, right, before the stream started, I was talking to Chris and we were talking about directors. And someone, you're going to laugh at this, this guy knows exactly what I'm talking about. He says, Isaac Florentine, as we were talking about, has made a lot of action flicks. He even did some Power Ranger stuff. Told you, didn't I? See? So he's like I told you earlier, Chris, I'm a bit biased for Isaac Florentine because he's very good and he's got the eye for action. Especially when it comes to martial arts action. Yeah. He's good at certain camera angles. Like I know you've seen the Undisputed films now. And he does get some of the camera angles just right, doesn't he? He knows how to work it. Yeah. But he's good at doing the smaller scope films. Now, this would probably be in terms of scope, it's big. It's going to be big. Can he do the grandness on screen? Can he do it? So that's the only thing I'm worried about, and as well as the supernatural element. Can he handle that as well? But when it comes to action, Isaac Florentine, he's got it down to a T. When it comes to real life action, martial arts, no need for wires. There's none of that. He's got it down to a T. But I'm biased for someone like that. Now, yeah, he's cheap, but he knows how to work a camera when it comes to action. Um, Now, they could, if they were going to get someone like James Gunn on board, or someone of close to that caliber, and they don't know the martial arts side of things or the action side of things, you know, in terms of what Mortal Kombat fans want, could they get like a second unit or an assistant director in someone like Isaac Florentine to deal with that side of the film?
I don't see why not.
They're gonna just, you know, because the last sequel, Annihilation, you know, it didn't do so well. I don't want to get into it. Didn't do so well, and there's a lot of eyes on this sequel. There's a lot of people gunning for it to be good. They need it to be good.
We need it to be good, because my biggest concern is if this film fails to iron out the kinks of the first one, and it doesn't deliver I'm just coming from a martial artist perspective. If it can't deliver from that avenue, then we could be waiting for another 2 decades.
Yeah, which is I don't want to do that. So
no, I don't.
I want to do my damnedest. I want to do my damnedest to help it.
Yeah.
I want to get over that hurdle, because I don't want to wait any longer.
It sucked originally having to wait this long. So
so I don't want to wait anymore, and there's a few of us that really want this sequel to do well, and it better, because if it doesn't, again, like you say, we could be waiting for another 2 decades for another reboot, and we've waited already so long, and they've put the money up for it and say, right, we'll give this franchise another chance in the movie universe, and okay, some people still hold the first one in a higher regard, and I understand why, because it's a bit more of a simpler film, but it worked, and it still works to this day. How you can watch it, it's easy to watch, easy to follow.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can see the hurdles the new film had to get over, because there's so much information in terms of the games, all the games, and there's so many stories have been told. It's like you can't get all of that in now.
No, you can't.
There's so much to go over.
Yeah.
So you can see the hurdles that they had to try and go, all right, will this work? That will work. And at the same time, trying to make it their own, which, I don't know why they tried to make it their own. There's enough there. But again, they back themselves into a corner, but there's ways to get out. There's ways to get out of it.
There's definitely ways to get out. It's not, it's not a complete, massive epic.
It won't bog the film. It won't. The way they can get over the kinks, it won't bog the, it won't bog the film out for an hour, if you know what I mean. Trying to go, oh well, we need to explain the first film. They could just do a few sentences, a few scenes, and they've addressed it. They've addressed some of the issues of the first film, and then they can just crack on there. Yeah. So it's not as if there's ways out. I'm just saying there's ways out. But it depends on what director they get in. It depends who they've been listening to, because the Todd Gardner and the writers have said we've been listening. So it also depends who they've been listening to. Of course, I'm biased to say oh, they've been listening to me, but I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I don't want to. That's why I want to keep pushing.
Yeah.
As if they haven't. That's why I've been doing all those streams, because I'm thinking, well, they say they've been listening, but I don't want to rest on my laurels. I'm going to keep pushing. So,
yeah.
I'm being persistent. So I'm going to keep knocking on their blood door and say, hello, McFly, hello.
Is that Biff?
But yeah, Johnny Cage coming. He's a new guy. He says the raid choreography is so intense. It's what the sequel needs. I reckon that's what the first film needed, not the second film. I know people are going to be a bit iffy on this, but the second film is going to be more... Right, the first film, there's no tournament and whatever, so everyone's just gunning for each other. It's like a street brawl. There's like no rules. When it comes to the tournament setting, everyone's kind of a bit more relaxed and there's a bit more structure. So everyone's really like, right, I'm fighting him next, and you got more time to gear up for that fight. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a bit more of a build up to an actual tournament fight. So when it comes to the Raid's choreography, I reckon it should be a bit more grand, like the fights in Undisputed. There's more emphasis on the fight instead of it just being a brawl. The fights in the Raid, it's more close, like close combat.
Yeah.
And that's right. It's more street fighting. Like, there's no rules. There's no one to pull them back from each other. There's no one watching, which would have worked better in the first film, I feel. But when it comes to the second film, everything needs to be a bit, the focus needs to be on the fight. It's a little less street brawl. It's more expansive, expressive.
Yeah, because like the levels in the game, you have that environment.
Yeah, you've got the environment to move around. If you're going to throw a kick, it's more expressive. It's more extended. You show the maneuvers. Instead of just the camera's really close.
What I really don't want to see personally is up close shots and a frame on.
And then switching and you lose what's happening in the fight.
Yeah.
There's no story being told. I mean, I'm going to keep using the Undisputed fights as reference. In the Undisputed, was it 3? I think Undisputed 2, where he fights the Colombian at the end, the last fight of the film.
Yeah.
The fight, it shows where Boyka, his knee is starting to give way, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you see Dolor, which is the guy's name, the Colombian guy. He starts to attack it, doesn't he? And then Boyka's struggling. And then you think Boyka's out, but then he comes back because he's having to adapt. And then you see him use his knee as a target, and then he uses it to cut the bad guy off guard. So when he goes to attack the knee, he uses it as a go on, come on, attack it. So when the guy attacks it, he uses it, moves out the way, and then he counters.
Yeah.
So what's really good about the fights in the Undisputed team is that they almost tell a story within each fight, and they're done very well. And I can imagine that given more time on the fights, that something like that in a Mortal Kombat film would be grand. It really would stand out. Because people don't like boyers. So if they was to watch the Undisputed fight scene, they'll be like, oh, they were so good. They're so... I'm going to use... They're the standard for me. When it comes to exhibition, expressive, the Undisputed fights for me are a standard.
Yeah.
Not the top standard, but a standard, because they're the most recent ones for me. So we'd have to see what happens, but
I think
I'm not knocking on the Raid. I'm not knocking on the Raid at all.
No, I love the Raid. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, they're really good film.
But it's a different vibe it gives off to what the Undisputed gives off.
More enclosed.
Yeah, it's a very close quarter way of fighting this. Yeah.
More claustrophobic in terms of the fight. But I mean, again, the camera angles were really good. You could see everything, but again, it was enclosed down hallways, in rooms. Whereas in the tournament, it's you got all that space. You got the grand. It's a grand opening. It should be treated as if it's a big event, not down a hallway.
Yeah.
With a few doors hanging around. But that's how I see the fight. The fight should be done. It should be on a grand scale. Apart from like the likes of the pit, where it's going to be down a narrow way. But again, you've got the background. You know it's the pit, so it's got that sense of openness.
Yeah.
What is it when people are afraid of heights? I'm so tired. I can't think of these names. What's the fear of heights? I keep forgetting.
You're asking me, bloody hell.
I'm just asking.
Don't ask me that.
When it comes to you want to talk about fighting down a hallway, but then you've got the pit. I'm like, yeah, but you've got all that open space. So you've got the background, you've got the moon in the background, you've got mountains in the background. It's open.
Yeah.
Even though they're fighting on the pit, it's still open. Yeah, we'd have to see. But let's see what people are saying here. Gabbo, he says, as great as the 95 movie was, my take is somewhat different, though Liu Kang is very much based on Robin Show. You on about for the sequel? I don't know. I still want this Liu Kang in the sequel to be pissed off, angry, almost uncontrollable, because he's had his best mate and his cousin die. He's angry, as anyone would be, and then he finds out that it's all because of Raiden, because of his poor judgment on his decisions. Gabo also says Legacy had a choreographer of Undisputed 3, but Legacy was great. Is it Larnell? I think it's Larnell. I forgot his first name. He also worked on the Undisputed films when it comes to choreography. He could work because, again, he did work on the Legacy series. I don't know if he worked on both. I can't remember. Or I think it was Rebirth. I can't. I'll have to do a bit more research on that. Hang on, for your story. Oh, you're on for your story. Got ya.
Yes.
He's on that for his own. He wants the Robin Show Liu Kang for his own story. That's his base. Okay, got ya. But yeah, at the moment I don't think. Yeah, here we go. I was about to say. I don't think I don't think James Gunn is right for this movie for a few reasons, in terms of martial arts action, martial arts gore. It's a martial arts gore fest. I don't know if James Gunn is the right director for that, and he'll just eat up the budget for his asking price anyway.
Yeah, if the film's not on a big, let's say for example, it doesn't get that much of an increase from what the 21 movie got, I get the feeling he'd probably gobble up a sizable chunk of that.
Yeah.
So
you'd think with it being one of the most watched on HBO, you think they'd want to size on that and go, okay, we'll throw a bit more money at it.
Yeah.
But that's what we're all hoping for. So.
Well, I strongly believe an HBO series is really, in my mind at least, is the best way to go as far as MK is concerned, because there's so much depth in the lore. There's so much to justify a lot of the characters' backstories and origins, and that it would supplement the films quite well. So, yeah, but that depends how they are.
They've already got the backstory for the main, not from the first one. So all of these just to expand a bit more on, especially the special forces past. A bit more. Introduce new characters, just slightly expand on them, and then when it comes to a second sequel where they have to go to Outworld to fight Shao Kahn, have it be the end game event where everyone's there and everyone's battling. Everyone's there. That's how I'd do it. It depends what they do. You know what I mean? I'm open to being spoken to by anyone in terms of if it's Todd Gardner or the writer. If they want to listen to my perspective and they want to talk to me about it, I'm open. I'm free to it. But who's going to talk to little old me? I'm not even a YouTuber. Who's going to talk to someone that's just chatting online?
You never know.
No, do they really want to talk to us ground level fans? Do they really want that? I know I'm putting myself down, but I'm being realistic. So I don't have any pulling power. I don't have a big following, but I want to offer something different to what everyone else has done, and that's just to try and work within what we've already been given. I don't want to retcon anything, because I don't think there's anything there to be retconned. That's how I feel. Things can be fixed or expanded on.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with, if you can see problems with a certain film or anything in general, there's nothing wrong with expressing that. It's a good thing. And I think they do listen. I think they do.
Well, that's what I mean. Kudos to Todd for like actually sticking there and actually, coming across to the fans and actually engaging with us.
Yeah.
And I think it made a lot of people go, "Oh, I wonder if I can talk to him." And then when he responds to people, they feel more inclined to give him a chance. And that's what's happened. They've given him a chance. Of course, there's haters out there that go, "Oh, the film's shit," and it's like, well, you're not offering any solutions. You just come to a blanket statement, and you're not thinking deeply about how things can be later on down the line.
Yeah.
There's good and bad to all films. People just want to look at bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it comes to the Resident Evil remake, I think I was disappointed way too much, to the point where there's things that can't be fixed. In that film, they made it to the point where nothing can be fixed. Spoiler alert, they actually destroyed the town. It's not a city, it's a town, Raccoon Town. And they destroyed any hope of having the Nemesis scenario.
I was so disappointed with that.
So there's no way to fix that. If they did a sequel, there's no way to fix it. They'd have to bring back Nemesis in a totally new story, in a different city, and it's ruined for me. It completely ruined.
It's certainly not the film if I would have made if I was to do that. If I was to do Resident Evil as a remake, honest to God, it's just going to be the mansion and the lab, and it'd be the TY. I would, for goodness sakes, the games are there. Don't reinvent the wheel. It doesn't need to be done. Look at the games and homologate it into a film narrative so it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The Gabo says, "Welcome to Raccoon City makes 2021 look like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man." Yeah. I'm not gonna completely trash Raccoon City, because it did have some good elements in there. It
wasn't garbage. It just had big issues. Or I had big issues with it anyway. Because
it condensed like 9 to 10 hours of gameplay into one film, and it didn't need to do it.
They tried to shoehorn two games more or less into one film.
Three games.
Yeah. So
they've already destroyed the city, right? Which means there's no Nemesis scenario.
I mean, they could have made such a fucking awesome horror film out of that if it was just the lab, the mansion and the lab and all the creatures.
They could have made the first one what everyone wanted, which is horror. Have it as suspense horror.
Yeah.
Delve into the gene splicing and genetic theories and stuff. Go into that.
Yeah.
And then expand on it in the second one, where it's the city.
Yeah. And they could have had all the Easter eggs.
Everyone wanted the mansion. Everyone wanted a horror film, and they went down the route of the original movies, and they wanted action. They didn't need it. They didn't need all the action, and it was a disappointment. For me, it was a disappointment, and to the point where there was nothing there that could be redeemed in a potential sequel, because they've already got 3 games to the point where they've diluted the whole lot. The whole thing's diluted.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, it's cooked. I don't see any point now with them going any further with Resident.
If they did a sequel, I wouldn't be bothered about it.
I'm not interested. They blew it in my mind. They completely blew it.
Because they could have done a good thing there, where if they did a second film, they could go through, say you go through halfway through the film, and again you see a hole in the wall, and you think, "Oh, how did that get there?" But then later on in another sequel, it shows you why that hole was there, which is what the third game was. Because the third game was interweaved with the second game, but it didn't interact with the second game, if you know what I mean. It was basically it did a Pulp Fiction. It shows you what happened before, and then it leads into what happened after. They could have done something so good then, but no. Gavin come up again saying, "My version of Johnny Cage was very different from what folks know nowadays." Interesting. My version of Johnny Cage is someone that he knows he's a good fighter, but he's doing movies, and in front of cameras, in front of people, he's all uppity, he's all cocky and everything else. But when he's behind closed doors, he's down on himself. He knows that he's just letting himself down. He's wasting himself. He knows that there's something within him that's there's more to him than just a movie star now. And he's pissed off with himself, basically. That's my Johnny Cage. There's two versions of him: what you see, and then what you don't see. And then when he goes to the tournament, it's almost as if he now feels like he can express himself more. So that means when he's opened up, that's when he can bring on his own powers more. You see what I mean? Because it's when he's doing films, he knows he's fake. But in real life, he knows he's not. So he wants to prove himself. So he's not a failed actor. I don't want to do the failed actor route or someone that's on the down. I just want someone that's in two minds themselves. There's two versions. We've got the movie version that everyone loves and enjoys, but then behind closed doors, he knows he's not that person. And he really wants to kick some ass. He really wants to prove himself to be someone that's real instead of someone that's fake. That's my take on a Johnny Cage. So it'd be interesting to see what Gabbo's version is. Speaking of Johnny Cage comes on and goes, I wonder how many characters we get in the MK sequel. I don't want to turn out to be the 1997 sequel. Now, people will say things like this, and it's like, it depends how you do it. Now, I've gone through my version of sequel loads of times where you have the tournament, and then you have the secondary plot where you bring in other characters. You know who they are, and they give out a few sentences as to why they're there, but then you leave it open for them to be expanded on further down the line. Because the producers, they want to expand on the series, like Marvel, don't they? They want to do that. So you don't want to put everything in one film. You want to expand on it. So introduce new characters, doesn't matter how many you introduce, as long as, you give them a tiny bit to shine, or if you want to do cameos. Because this is a series where you can do sequels and then bring them back later. You don't need to blow your beans in one film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can get away with a little bit of shoehorning, can be gotten away with, because if they're done quickly, they can always be brought back. But I think the trick is not to overdo it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't overdo it.
Just don't overdo it. Too many characters.
Yeah, I mean, let's think of a character who'd be cast as a shoehorn. I want to say the likes of like Kai. Kai from Mortal Kombat 4. You don't want to shoehorn him in because I see him as Liu Kang's protege. That's how I would introduce him. If I was to bring him into the sequel, it'd be way too soon because there's nothing there to build upon. It's just someone there.
Yeah.
I would use that character to be, in a sequel, to be someone Liu Kang could pass on knowledge and train on.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
So basically, yeah.
You're giving Liu Kang another dimension to himself where he's not learning now, he's teaching.
Yeah.
And Kai could be someone to use in future films.
It's got to be done in a way that audience.
That's my take on a bad shoehorn. If you bring him into a sequel now,
yeah,
that's a bad shoehorn.
Yeah.
But someone like a Fuji, you could bring him in, and there's a reason for him to be there. He's there to protect Earthrealm during the Outworld invasion while the tournament is happening, and Raiden can't be two places at once. He has to be at the tournament because that's where the highest stakes are.
Yeah, which makes sense.
And he's there to protect his own fighters from shenanigans. He has to be there. But because the Outworld invasion is happening, Raiden can't be there. So, of course, you bring in Fujin, and that's not a shoehorn. There's a legitimate reason for him to be there. So it's not a shoehorn. He's there. People know he's the God of Wind. They know he is. You expand on him throughout the film, and then you can use him in the end game to end the trilogy. If
Yeah.
they're going to do a trilogy, if they're going to do multiple trilogies, you'd hope that they would. There's other people talking. Let's have a look. Gabbo again. It's similar to what you envision. As a film actor, he has had highs and lows. You think he's on about the Johnny Cage. But I actually did a major change. Interesting. So he's got his own. Everyone's got their own version of all the characters. You know, everyone's got an opinion. So I can't go. No, your opinion is wrong. It's like you can't have a wrong opinion. You can't have a right opinion. That is an opinion. But you know, everyone's biased towards their own opinions. Gabbo again. He says someone who I won't mention did a vid on how he would have done MK21's existing plot, and he had Johnny in Cole Young's role. I don't think it'll work now. I don't think having Cole Young as Johnny Cage will work now because they essentially made him his own character. I don't think you can shoehorn.
No, that won't work.
Cole Young as Johnny Cage now. You can't do it. At this point, it'll be a disappointment. At this point, it will be a big disappointment because people will say, "Why didn't you have him as Johnny Cage in the first place?" You know.
Yeah, I can see that. Now. No, Cole Young's already in it. He's in the mix already, so yeah.
Yeah. Kai should be the Falcon to Luke and Captain America. No, because that's Kung Lao and Liu Kang. That's a duo there. I don't think you should have that Kai be the duo. I reckon you should keep with Kung Lao and Liu Kang. But again, if they want to later on down the line add a new dimension to Liu Kang, have him be the Bo Rai Cho to Kai's Liu Kang. Someone that can look up to Liu Kang, and then Liu Kang can go, I can pass on my knowledge, just as Bo Rai Cho passed on his knowledge to me. There you go, sorted. That's if they wanted to do that. Johnny Cage again. Do you agree that whoever plays Johnny Cage, his character should be moulded around? No.
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 I don't want Ryan Reynolds to play it. He should have a bit of Ryan Reynolds in it. Because that's essentially what Johnny Cage is anyway. He's a cocky person. He's one-liners. But, yeah, I don't want Ryan Reynolds to play him. He's too old anyway.
Yeah.
Too old. I don't want him to play him.
I like Ryan Reynolds, but I don't think...
Ryan Reynolds, just not in this role.
Just not
maybe about 10 years ago, it could have worked.
Yeah.
About 10 years ago, it could have worked. But now...
No.
They're bringing in these new characters, and again, he's another high-demand actor, and again, he's going to eat up the budget.
Yeah. So if you've got an expensive director and an expensive actor,
yeah, it's like, oh, we're going to have to do stop motion for all the CGI.
you have to cut some corners here, I'm afraid.
yeah, it's just not worth it. Got a question for me. King Sayo, thanks for dropping in, Kingy. A question to you, Dave. Do you see Cole Young taking over the mantle of Scorpion, giving that Scorpion actor scenario his old?
Oh, no, I don't want to see that happen.
We're all about old actors, right? But when it comes to Scorpion, there was already a stunt double playing as Scorpion. Snyder didn't do all of his stunts. No one in that film did all their stunts because there's been backstage photos of all their stunt doubles and fight doubles and everything else. So when it comes to people like Scorpion, they're covered. You can just about get away with it. When it comes to likes of Johnny Cage, you're going to know straight away that it's not whoever plays him. Say they get someone like, say The Miz. He's got a certain look, but then you're going to have someone stunt double. Say if they get Alain Mousy to stunt double, you're going to know the difference straight away. You
can get away with it with certain characters, but
you can get away with people that look and just might get away with it. I suppose when it comes to the speaking roles and the acting roles, Snyder's good for that. If it's going to get silly into the fights, then you can just about get away with it because he's all covered. So there we go. So yeah, when it comes to that many characters, is it going to be too many? Look at the Avengers films. They dealt with them pretty well, I think. With the amount of characters in each Marvel film, when they introduced them all, I think they did the single films first, and then they brought them all in together. But when it comes to this Mortal Kombat, when it comes to the sequel film, introduce about how many characters? I'm going to say about 10. Introduce 10. You don't need to go into all of their backstories. We don't need to know Baraka's backstory.
No.
He's just a savage. You know what he's about.
Yeah.
Who else? So they bring in the likes of Stryker. Now they've already hinted about him being there through Cabal. Everyone knows that he's got the badge that says Stryker on it. There's a bit of history there. So Stryker doesn't need that much of a backstory. You know, he's a cop.
Yeah.
He's going to be wearing riot gear or whatever gear. He doesn't need that much of a backstory. He could just say, I'm a crack shot. I've got superb hand-eye coordination when it comes to shooting. That could be his power. He doesn't need that much. Or he could just say, I was with a group of people and I'm here. He doesn't need much. Nightwolf, he was hinted about. All he's got to say is if he comes in and says, to protect my ancestors' burial grounds, I'm here to fight. I'll put myself forward. I'm here. I have the power of my ancestors.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much of
You don't need a lot. You
Yeah.
don't need a lot. You just need to give them a reason.
Yeah.
And if the reason doesn't, come off as wooden, I am here to fight for my ancestors. Yeah. That's wooden. Don't need that.
No.
He needs to come in. He needs to be assertive and say, I am here to fight for my ancestor.
Yeah, there's this sentimentality with him
Say to save my ancestors' burial grounds. I'm putting myself forward. And my ancestors have chosen me. Expand on it later. Late in the sequel, he's there for the fight now, right? You can show his powers throughout the fight. Throughout the invasion, he's taken on 3. He's using his axe, he's chopping people up, using his powers and abilities. You just need to show just enough. You don't need big backstories. You're just introducing characters. So when the end game happens, you can expand on, characters more, lead to one big battle. There's ways to get around it, but I don't think it'll be too many. I don't think it'll be too many. It's just how they go around it. They don't want the characters to be wooden.
No.
That's my fear.
Yeah.
Give them a reason to come in.
It doesn't have to be that much of a reason because, like you say, there's always room to expand afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to the likes of Stryker, you can have him playing off with Jax. Throughout, say throughout the battle with Outworld. With the portal, they're invading Earth. You can have interactions between, Stryker and Jax, and say that I tried to get into the special forces, but I wanted to help the people instead of just being on a base somewhere. I need to be here. Give him a bit of create his own backstory, talking to Jax, and say I did apply, but when they accepted me, I decided to say no. Because I thought I'd be needed more on ground level. Yeah. And it makes Stryker go, Stryker's actually a bit of a, street level person. He actually wants to help people. And then he can have him play off with Jax and say, you sure you don't want to play with the big boys? He goes, and then you can have Stryker say, like I say, I'd rather be where, the action is, where people need me. I want to be where people need me, not when I'm needed.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Bit of interaction there. Yeah. And it builds character. So little things like that. That's how I'd do it. But, that's me. That's my opinion.
No, it makes sense. I mean, but like I said, my largest complaint with the 21 movie was the writing. That was my biggest gripe I had with it. So
They did write themselves into a corner a little bit.
yeah, I think that there's a good chance they've probably taken note of that since they've got new writers in, or a writer in.
As long as they play on the fact that Raiden was dejected and he was making poor decisions, the first film would be accepted amongst the haters a little bit more.
Well, it would salvage it, wouldn't it? It
would salvage a lot of things.
It would salvage it.
It'd be like, well, why didn't he just teleport everyone everywhere at the beginning? Why didn't he just do this at the beginning? Why didn't he just do that? It's like, well, he's a bit messed up at the minute. He's lost for 500 years. He's been losing tournaments for 500 years.
Yeah, he's been a bit.
He's
justified with a bit pissed off.
Yeah, it was like, what's the point? And then you see him after he zaps Kano, he just starts to walk off as if there's no hope.
Yeah,
he's a hopeless god.
It's like he's had a bad fight. Yeah, and a bad day as soon as he saw Kano because he knew.
He's having a bad few centuries. Yeah. So again, there's ways to go about it. It can be salvaged,
It's definitely salvageable. There's no doubt about it. It's definitely salvageable. But the sequel's got to get it right.
Yeah,
for that to work. So.
But I don't know if you have any of your own ideas you want to share.
Oh God, no. I mean,
I've been talking about my ideas, and I just won't shut up about it.
No, I enjoy listening to them. No, my fault is really just painting and designing. How I envision the characters to look. That's really my corner. In terms of ideas,
someone's asked you a question. We were talking about just how do you feel about your take on Raiden the movie?
Raiden.
Yeah, because I'll give you my interpretation.
Go on, then,
I don't know what yours is, so I'll let you answer that one. Your opinions.
I don't know what to say really. I think the guy that plays him looks the part. The guy that plays him looks the part for sure. Yeah. So I'm happy with that element of it. Obviously, there was no fighting with him involved because it was really just beef between him and Shang Tsung, and the situation with his training temple and everything. It would have been nice to see a little bit more of what Raiden's capabilities were, but he just, to me, and it's not really the guy that's playing him, it's not his fault, it's the way he was written to play the role, and it just seemed to me that he was just constantly pissed. Constantly pissed at them. And he should be like Yoda, he should be more sort of, counselling them. Yeah, he could be pissed at the beginning when he sees the state of these champions.
Yeah.
And qualities in them that can be salvaged. If you see what I mean.
He only discovers a bit of hope at the end when he sees that Sub-Zero has been defeated. That's the only time he's got hope.
Yeah, that's another gripe I had with the.
When they're in the void, he has a hint that we've got a plan formulating here. Okay, there's something coming on, but at the end, that's when he thinks, okay, there's a bit of hope here. I feel like we can be saved. When he goes, you talk too much. When he teleports Shang Tsung away, there's a bit of hope there.
Yeah.
I mean, in your eyes, after me telling you how Raiden was and the reason why he was pissed off to everything else, do you think that's a plausible explanation?
It works.
That can be used in a sequel.
You know what? If the Raiden that I want to see in the sequel is more like Yoda, he's more. I can understand him being pissed off in the previous film because obviously the garbage I've inherited. But in the sequel, in a proper tournament setting, it'd be good if he's more optimistic, but still has that element of like, I'm not taking shit and I'm not gonna. I've got no time for messing up, but just a more sort of positive interaction from him. I can't. I'm hard to think.
Yeah, you can definitely have the positive side of him and have him express himself more. But yeah,
That's what I got.
yeah, if
Thanks
they,
for helping my fighter find his arcana. Yeah.
yeah.
God. Yeah, Goro could have just like fucking torn him into pieces for all he knew.
But again, this sending. I mean, basically, he sent Cole Young to his family, knowing that Shang Tsung's going to follow him,
Yeah.
and he
Exactly.
put his family at risk.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
He literally put his family at risk. Now, if they were to explain this in the sequel and say, I made poor decisions because I believed that Earth wasn't going to win, and I give up, I gave up. If it was to show that Raiden give up, right, then again it's going to open up more avenues to the Raiden and Liu Kang conflict that they've got at the minute in the new game. You know, they want to hint at new games, don't they? So have the hint of a bit of animosity between Liu Kang and Raiden.
Mm.
You know, Liu Kang not wanting to listen to Raiden anymore because he's the one to be making poor decisions, getting everyone killed. But you want the optimistic Raiden. But
It's got to be. Yeah, but it works in the sense that this tournament's going to be so damn hard for them with these new adversaries that they've got to be in a position of hopelessness. They've got to feel that, and then he can come in with his optimism, and I think that'll bring a new quality to his character that we didn't get in the previous film.
To make it, because we're going to be watching this. Do you reckon, as viewers, if you want to make the situation a bit more hopeless and think, oh man, are they going to win? You know, have that animosity between Liu Kang and Raiden to the point where Raiden feels like, oh my god, if I can't get Liu Kang on side, we're going to lose this.
Yeah.
You know, and then Raiden starts to think, oh my god, I'm slipping back. I'm slipping back into hopelessness again. You know, and it's going to take something special for Raiden. You know, they're going to need some lines of dialogue of Raiden talking to Liu Kang.
Yeah.
And to pull Liu Kang out of his darkness. He's slipping into the darkness. And I think with Liu Kang slipping into darkness, it's going to open up a door for Shang Tsung to pull Liu Kang towards the dark side. And then it's going to take Raiden to pull him back. And it's going to take him, you got the big speeches in films like the President from Independence Day, big speech. It's going to take Raiden to do a big speech to bring everyone back together. And everyone go, right, we believe in ourselves to fight. But we've got a guest in. Well, he's not in, but we've got Tamok in. So I want to thank him for coming in. I didn't expect him to come in.
Oh, yes, welcome.
I'm glad he's come in, because he's the all knowledgeable.
Yeah,
so,
his vault of knowledge.
And he can pop in whenever he wants. It's still open. But he says Raiden's force field was cool, but he did mess up quite a few times. Again, it's going to come into poor decisions on what Raiden could and couldn't do at the time. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. It's a dejected Raiden. He's making poor decisions because he believes that he's fighting a losing battle, which is why he didn't just teleport them out. He's just making poor decisions, like rash decisions. But that's my take anyway. And he also follows up with Raiden can fix everything by sending a message back in time to himself. He must win. You want to do a redo of the first film? I don't think that would
Let's remake the reboot.
Yeah. Can you imagine if I did that?
That'd be brain F, won't it?
With everyone wanting the tournament now, they just do a reboot to before the tournament again. Oh.
You even use the same trailer.
Yeah. Just flick everything around.
Save money.
Hang on. Johnny Cage says he disappeared when they were fighting in the pit. Yeah. Again, like when he brought Cole Young in and goes, "Thank you for making my fighter find his arcana," and then he just disappeared again. you got to assume he disappeared to the void, and then he started to bring people in. But then he realised, oh crap, I've just left everyone there to fight for themselves. Come now, do you want to go back and help them for a bit? And then he sent back Kung Lao, which then, he saved Cole Young, but then got himself killed by having his soul sucked. He had his soul sucked. There's again, the only way to explain all these little mishaps by Raiden is just say, I was a defeated god. I was mentally defeated.
And I was going through a shitty time.
And if he goes to Liu Kang and say, I'm sorry, Liu Kang, but it was my poor decision that got Kung Lao killed. And then Liu Kang can say, you got Kung Lao killed. And then it makes Liu Kang feel that he can't trust Raiden anymore. And it brings that animosity. Also, as a viewer, you're thinking, oh my God, is Earthbound going to win? Because they're all split up. There's no cohesion. You see what I mean? So it makes people think, oh no, is the tournament in jeopardy? Is this going to be the final? Especially for people that haven't watched anything Mortal Kombat related. As a new viewer, they're going to think, oh, are they going to pull themselves together in time to defeat Outworld? And then what also hinges on Earth's victory is the Netherrealm invasion in the subplot. You see what I mean? It all ties together. My ideas all weave into the same straight road. But that's just me.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hang on. Guess who's in? Hey ho! We got Mad Mike in. How's it going, Mike? Nice to have you in. Gabbo, he says, my version of Raiden will still be a wise mentor, but he has a snarky side to him like Christopher Lambert. Think Christopher Lambert.
Yeah,
I don't think they should do Christopher Lambert style. I don't think they should. Because in the series, in the Conquest series, they did that same route. And even though it works, it's because they're meant to be the same Raiden. In the original movie and the series, Conquest the series, they're the same character. That's why it kind of works. But in this incarnation, stick more to a serious Raiden. I reckon they should stick to a more serious Raiden instead of being because you've already got Johnny Cage in there, who's going to be that cocky guy. I don't think they should have Raiden as a cocky guy. And then if they're going to bring back Kano, have him as a cocky guy. There's going to be too many cocky guys. So stick to a Raiden that's more optimistic, like you say. But then if they're going to have the animosity between him and Liu Kang and the threat of the lack of cohesion, have a more...
I think you get away with moments of subtle humour with Raiden.
Oh, yeah.
But not in his persona, the way, say, because Johnny Cage and Kano really outgoing with their snarkiness. So,
I mean, if you really want to bring in a snarky version, right? Don't know how I'd do it. Some idiot from Outworld, right? Some idiot fighter from Outworld, stupidly challenges Raiden.
That'd be. Yeah.
And then Raiden can show himself, right? Now he's not entered into the tournament; he's entered as a fight. So I don't know if you want to have it as a tournament fight or someone just challenging him.
It'd just be as a challenge.
Just outside the tournament. It's an outside tournament, right?
Yeah.
And then Raiden can then show that, if I wanted to, if I was invited into this tournament, I could wipe you all out. I'm a god. I've got all this power. I can teleport you anywhere I want, right? I could stick a barrier up or whatever. So if someone wants to that's why no one challenges Raiden, because they don't want him into the tournament, because they know he'll mop up, which is why the rules are there. If a guard is in the tournament, they will win. And it's not up to Raiden because he's not of Earthrealm. So you really want to make Raiden be this OP god. So no, that's why no one challenges him in tournament. But if you want to show what he's like, someone should challenge him outside of the tournament rules. Like, I just want to fight you. I'm pissed off with you. I just want to fight you. And he's like, "Are you sure you want to fight me? Are you sure?" And then it's just like in the original movie where you got the guy who goes, and he's stretching out, and then Sub-Zero just freezes him.
Yeah.
You can have that with Raiden, and he just shocks him.
No, that'd be actually interesting if they did like a parallel to that in this next film.
Yeah.
And some cocky outworld dude just takes his chances with Raiden, and you get a glimpse of his power.
Yes.
Just like a thunderbolt up his ass.
If you want me in this tournament, you're going to lose. Yeah, and that's why you see like a look of concern on Shang Tsung's face, like, "No, don't have him in the bloody tournament, you stupid idiot."
Yeah.
That's close. That was close one. Tamar goes, "Yeah, we're chilling." That's all this is. Just, loving the movie. I was talking to Mike about are you chilling? Because Mike's been doing some live streaming on Twitch and doing his funny faces and it's funny. Johnny Cage says Raiden can shoot line Shang Tsung at the gym, but he says in the void he isn't allowed to interfere. Well, it's not really interfering because all he's done is teleport him somewhere else. He's not injured him.
He's just removed him from the situation.
Yeah.
Depends how.
Some people say in the film when he handed Cole Young the kunai, that was him getting involved, and I don't think it was. I don't think it is. He just handed him an item in the void. He goes, "Oh, that's your ancestors. That's for you." It didn't say use it or anything.
Yeah.
No one knew what that was for. I don't know. It's an odd one, but then it's like Shang Tsung, blatantly got involved, blatantly broke the rules, and that's why I think the Elder Gods should come in and just bring back everyone and say, "Look, you've broken the rules. You've killed each other on each side. Who's in the tournament? Just to wipe the plate, start again, wipe the plate clean. Everyone's back to life, apart from a few people where I'm going to say, Kung Lao, his soul's been taken. He can't come back to life because his soul's been taken. Now you can have a scene like I says in one of my streams where the soul's been taken by the Elder Gods, but then Quan Chi does a spell that holds the soul in a limbo, and that's when you could have Quan Chi make a deal with Shang Tsung and say, "You can have this soul, but I want a deal," and it's a way to introduce Quan Chi and the NetherRealm invasion. That's how I do it. Again, my ideas are weaving into each other. But there you go. Who else? Let's have a look. Hang on. Gabbo again. He says, but he's not consulting with the Elder Gods 24/7 because he doesn't know anything that a wise mentor should. He does, but again, he's been losing for the past 500 years. That's what I put it down to. That's why Raiden is the way he is in the film. He's been losing for 500 years. He's down on his last legs, and he sees the fighters in front of him and goes, "Is this what I've got to work with?" And he's like, "You know what? Forget this. Whatever." He's in I don't care anymore. That's why he says to Colin, goes, "There's nothing for you here, only death." You could say that, that Raiden, he's already defeated. He's already said to himself, "Earth is lost." That's how I see Raiden.
Yeah, so good.
Johnny Cage says to you, "Hey Chris, do you think Reptile will be brought back, or will our favourite serum never get any respect?"
I hope he certainly does get brought back for sure. He's my favourite character, or one of my favourites.
He either gets brought back, or they could show Reptile as being someone that's not going to fall for any tricks, and he sent out one of his own to do his bidding.
Yeah.
So it wasn't Reptile; it was something else. It was one of his own.
Yeah.
One of his generals or one of his underlings or whatever.
Because in my mind, I'm really hoping that really wasn't size off in the previous film, and it was just one of his minions that he sent out.
One of his minions. Yeah, that's the way on. Yeah, there's ways to do it. There's ways to go around it.
Yeah.
Tamok says, like opera, you broke the rules, and you broke the rules, and you broke the rules, and you broke the rules. Yeah. Gabbo, just to go over what he said, he says, I mean the NRS version. Did they... Yeah, they kind of put Reptile on... He's always been, like, in the background, hasn't he? Reptile. He's never been pushed forward. Now, if they was to do another Mortal Kombat storyline, and they really want to make the likes of Reptile and Baraka stand out, I'd have them form their own alliance and say, right, we're pissed off with being lackeys for all these top dogs, you know, the likes of Shang Tsung and Shinnok and all of them, and Quan Chi. How's about you, me, you know, Raiden and Baraka, form an alliance, our own alliance, combine our forces, our armies, and we'll just tear over everything the way we want to. Just be savage. There's hardly any strategy. They just go roughshod, and you know, I reckon make them dangerous. Make them pair dangerous, and have them form their own alliance. And you know, so I've gone over this before on Twitter. I even did an image of like Reptile and Baraka in their own alliance. And I reckon it would give them their time to shine. You know, show that they're not just lackeys. They can actually run roughshod over everyone due to sheer numbers on their side.
Yeah.
That's how I'd do it.
Yeah, that's...
They have their own little spin-off.
Yeah.
That's what I'd do.
Mm.
I don't know if you have any ideas of your own in terms of games or series, movies.
Not really. My brain's not working at the moment.
Yeah. Well, that's what both. I'll see you next week.
I'm drained at the moment.
I know, it's too bad we can't have anyone else coming in. There's no one waiting. I suppose they're all just busy.
Yeah.
If they want to talk about their own thing. This is an open chat, by the way, guys.
This is just a random banter we're having. So
Mad Mike, if he's in, he can come in and talk about how he's doing on the merging games. Tamok, if he has anything else in terms of the movies and the scripts. You know, it's up to you guys. It's either that or you're not fed up with me talking all the time. I don't mind talking for hours and hours and hours. I don't mind it. You know, I do like to bounce off other people's ideas and people to bounce off my ideas.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about how I could bring Reptile in, give him more of a spotlight, really.
Is that in terms of games or movies?
Huh?
You know, in terms of the games or
no, the films. I'm thinking in terms of the films. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. There's I can't now. Getting ready to leave. Oh, he's work. The working man. Yeah, he's happy to watch. On the way to work. Yeah. I mean, there's another guy. I keep forgetting to add him to our group. He's from Australia. I think it's called That Was My Pitch. He's known as That Was My Pitch. And I want to get him on a stream by himself as well, because he's the one that does videos on how he would see sequels. And we do have totally different ideas. So it'd be interesting to get him on and try to convince him, because he could try and convince me, and it's not going to work. So it'd be interesting. He says, restoring a soul to a body should be doable. Either though time travel or any other number of other methods. I don't think they should. Now, you're on about the games or the films? Because in the films, I don't think they should mess with time travel yet.
No.
It's way too early.
No.
It's way too early. And Mike says, getting ready to find something to eat at the moment. I just got off work. Well, I finished work, got in, had to go straight out to the gym, come back, and then set this up and do this straight away. So I'm knackered, and I'm just chilling as much as I can. This is one of these open streams where I thought, I need to do more of these, more open streams, and not just have a specific thing. I'll do more. If more people want to come on, I'll do advertise on Twitter. If they want to come in, they can DM me. Let me check. No, nothing. See, I'm not that big of a deal, I think. It's not that I want to be. I don't really care. I just want to interact with people more. Get some ideas.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I mean,
and then they can get their ideas out on video as well.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I'm helping you out, getting your paintings out there as well. I just want to help people. I'm hoping that with your paintings, people have seen them now. If they come across,
I'm sure people have. Yeah, since Future Boy put it on his channel, so yeah, people have definitely seen them by now. I'm grateful to everyone that shows my pictures.
You're very good.
Yeah. So happy day.
I'm only good at doing hardline sketches. I'm not good at.
Your sketches are pretty cool. You got the ideas.
They're okay. They're yeah. If I was to spend a bit of time doing a detailed humanoid figure, it'd be all right. But when I do sketches, when it comes to shading, I can't shade. It's all just it's in pen. So it's like if I make a mistake. Oh dear! so I'm like, I'll do this, and I've got the image in my head. I've got nothing in front of me, and it's all just from mind. And like you, I just go with the flow. Yeah,
personally, when I'm doing like stuff like painting and drawing, I just go with the flow personally, and just let it go.
I might come in, but there's so many options. Tamok says, I don't do good sketches. Well, it's up to you how you do your sketches. In your mind what you're trying to do.
Yeah, you have a model in your head, and then you try and translate that to, paper or to whatever medium you want.
Obviously, I really got into sketching Mortal Kombat when it comes to the third Mortal Kombat game, and you had the character sketches, the pictures. And there were loads of them, and they all kind of stood in the same sort of stance, like slightly side on, full figure, slightly side on. And I thought, I want to draw them. And I started drawing Scorpion, because they were the ninjas.
Yeah,
that's how I started doing my drawings.
Yeah.
Slightly side on. I'll tell you what, one day, I've got all my sketches still, and I'm going to take a photo of all of my sketches, and it's all kind of the same. From years and years ago, all that sort of stance, all slightly side on. So the Mortal Kombat 3 character sketches were a big influence on my sketches. That's where it all comes from.
Yeah.
Oh no, hang on, that skipped. So I just appreciate other people's art. Everyone's got their own style.
Everyone's got their own unique take on these things.
Gabbo says my drawings are amateur but I'm inspired. Yeah, everyone gets inspired. I do more picture edits now than drawings, like proper drawings. I'll do a sketch while I'm at work because I'm bored, so I'll just do a sketch. It's like that.
I used to do it all the time.
School.
I used to do like RoboCop, Ed 209, T800s, and all sorts of things at work when I used to work at the thing. Night shift.
Mike says I couldn't do doodles to save my life. It'd be interesting. I should do a competition, and say, right, I wanted someone to do a sketch, quick sketch of let's come up with a character, the worst character ever. I'm going to say mocap. I want someone to do a quick sketch of mocap, and I'll pick out the best one, and I'll put it on a live stream. It'd be interesting to see everyone's sketches. Going back to the films, Johnny Cage says, "Do you think we'll see in the Lin Kuei and Black Dragon in the sequel?" Well, they've already hinted at the Black Dragon. That they've only mentioned the Lin Kuei. If they want to introduce Corey Lang, the younger brother, they could introduce the Lin Kuei and say something like Sub-Zero has failed or has died, and then have the younger brother say, "I want revenge on the person who killed him," and then say, "Well, you are now given the mantle of Sub-Zero because you are the younger brother. You have proven yourself to be given the mantle, and if we don't basically say, we don't want you to go. We don't want you to go and seek out. You stay with us." And then you can have Corey Lang say, "No, I want to go and find my brother's killer." He goes, "If you leave, you're going against the Lin Kuei rules, and you'll be hunted. We've got this thing. We've got for you now." And they could hint at the Cyber Initiative, and that's what they try to get Sub-Zero. And Sub-Zero figures it out and goes, "No, I don't want to be for the Cyber Initiative. I want to find my brother's killers." And then say, "If you leave now, you will be marked for death." And he goes, "So be it."
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, sorted.
There you go.
And then you could have him and Smoke trying to escape, but then Smoke gets captured, and then they could play out from there. Again, they can hint out certain things in the film, but don't forget the next film is. I reckon they should do the first tournament. That's the majority of what people want.
Yeah, they really want to keep it as simple as
They want
possible.
to keep it as close to the first game as possible. King Sayo says, question to both of us. How would you feel if Cole Young ends up winning the tournament? No! No!
Give up all hope in humanity if that happens.
If you want to kill off the series, dead. If you want to kill off this incarnation and wait another 20 years for a reboot, do this idea.
You know what I'd rather do, Cole Young? Seriously? I'd rather make him evil. I'd rather make him... I'm very tempted to do, bro. Yeah.
There are ways to do it, but the only way to make him evil is if Raiden, still doing his poor decisions, actually gets... is the catalyst for Cole Young's family dying.
Yeah.
And then gives reason for Cole Young to go against Earthrealm and say, "There's nothing for me here."
Yeah.
Raiden, you got my family killed. You got my family killed. I'm going to make sure you're dead.
In all honesty, I just think it'll make his character so much more interesting. If, yeah.
Cole Young is Havoc. He was Havoc all along. Oh yeah. let's completely mess up the franchise.
Well, I just got it's Ferrero Rocher that sticks in my head. That armor.
No, it's basket weaving, isn't it? I think that's where they got the idea from. The basket weaving.
Yeah.
I mean, they could stick with almost the same design, but I would have it more lumping out as if it's a cross between a ninja and a medieval knight. That's how I'd have it.
Yeah.
Show that he's expanded on his powers more. You got to develop the character more. If they have that bloody jumper again, if they have that,
Well, the top
there's no hope.
No.
No. Show that he's developed himself as a character. Show that he's expanded on his powers as well as his own defense in the cage. You've got to show his development. Johnny Cage, he says, pretty sure we'll see a younger Sub-Zero in the sequel and possibly Smoke.
Oh, see, the younger Sub-Zero.
I see Corey Lang being there. as for Smoke, again, it's one of those characters you can introduce, but not be shoehorned. He's not shoehorned in; he's introduced. That's one of them, and of course, he laughs at that. He laughs at what we were talking about, the Cole Young winning the tournament. No,
Mate, I lose faith in humanity if that happens.
I'll tell you what, if that happens, right, I'm saying it now, and it's going to be on the record. I will delete everything Mortal Kombat related on my Twitter timeline. Everything.
You sterilise it.
It'll be as if my Twitter timeline is a new account. I'll wipe out everything because it'll blow my mind that much that I will just want to be a new person. I want to be a new person if that happens.
If the studio's getting any ideas, this is a direction they really, really don't want to go down.
If you want to get rid of every single fan and bring in a totally new fan base, that's how you do it. Have Cole Young win the tournament, overshadow all the original Mortal Kombat characters. There you go. If that's the way you want to do it. Chris and Dave, do you think we will get more game stages in the sequel? Yes.
Yes.
It's a definite yes.
Yes, 100%.
I don't know why you had to do that in caps unless that's your excitement being shown. King says Warner Brother can do the unthinkable.
Well, they can if they want. It's up to them. It's their money. But
don't.
I don't recommend it.
I've never been suicidal. I want to remain that way.
I wouldn't go that far, but I've been in a very depressed state for a long time.
I tell you what, I'm on a fitness journey at the minute. Right, I've cut down a lot of food. I'm doing a bit more cardio. I'm drinking a lot more fluids. And I won't be suicidal, to my life, but I will put my health in jeopardy, and I will start eating pizzas every single day, and I will not go to the gym ever. It's like I'll be fat. I will make myself massive. I will let myself go. I will make sure my girlfriend needs me. I will. My life will be ruined if that happens, and I will have no hope left at all. And King Sarah is laughing at that. If you want to laugh at my expense, there you go. Yeah, I'm open to it. Oh, jeez. But yeah, when it comes to the games, I know that I've not kept up on top of the games at all.
No, I haven't, to be honest.
There's nothing definite, and I don't want to get myself excited when, there's rumours, and it's every week there's a different rumour, and people are doing videos on all these rumours that you can't keep up, and I've kind of desensitized myself to it. So when it comes to the games, I don't know whether you've kept up to date, but apparently Ed Boon has broken the cycle on, doing a Mortal Kombat game, then a DC game, then a Mortal Kombat game, then a DC game. Apparently, he says, we're breaking the cycle. Now, people instantly think they're doing a Mortal Kombat game. Now, what if it's something totally different? Because NetherRealm can't just do Mortal Kombat and DC games. They've got to, probably do other things. Now, wouldn't it be funny if they did, we're not doing a Mortal Kombat game. We're not doing a DC game. We're doing another Mortal Kombat versus DC game. I'd be open to that. I actually enjoyed the storyline between that merged the MK and DC storylines. I don't know if you have seen it or played it or anything.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed that. I was hooked. It got me hooked. I was like, I love crossovers if they make sense. And to me, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And if they can do a sequel, based on that, you know, and make it make sense. I'm all for it. I'm all for another MK versus DC game. Yeah, make it happen. You know, Cole Young, the human punching bag. Yeah. Oh, my cap's got stuck. Yeah, right. Oh no. Oh, everyone's got this. Everyone's got this original idea. Kill Cole Young in the sequel. Problem solved.
Or do it like they did, like with those characters in Alien 3 when they killed them off screen.
Yeah. Oh.
Something tragic accident.
Yeah. Oh, it was,
Something happened.
make it really mundane. Like, oh, it was, you know, their house collapsed and they just died. Or
Yeah,
it was a freak
accident.
Freak weather, and you know, just happened. You know,
Tragically got struck by a bolt of lightning.
Yeah, random stop.
Again, sorry.
I know it sounds really morbid.
Yeah. At first, I absolutely hated the Cole Young character because I know it was a mechanism at studio level, but at least, you know, they can still do something with it, just don't make him the main centerpiece of this film, you know.
Yeah.
Personally, I think they should correct him and make him evil. That's what I'd do.
But if they, you know, if the studio really wants to keep him, and then if the studio want to keep the fans happy, you know, the best of both worlds is to expand on the character, and give him his own little side plot. Don't put him in the tournament at all, but give him a storyline that's just as important, which is why I come up with the subplot. I reckon it's you know, it makes the studio happy because you expanded on their character.
Served the purpose already, to be fair.
Yeah, you expanded on their character, making their character better, as well as, I'm going to say, it would please the fans because he's not involved in the tournament.
Yeah.
And he's not treading on the likes of Johnny Cage's toes, Sonya's toes, Liu Kang's toes.
So the main characters in the tournament, and the studio character can be on the exactly.
I mean, it's the only way I can see it. If they have him in the tournament, I reckon it's going to rub people up, including myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not going to wash with me that well, to be honest.
It doesn't matter how they write him in that film. They could do the best writing. I personally don't want him in the tournament because I'm old school. I want the story, the tournament side, to be as close to the original game as possible. Not the Mortal Kombat 9 story reboot.
Oh yeah.
I don't want that. I want the original game.
Yeah,
because okay, it's very basic, but you can fit more in. You can expand on the characters inside the tournament and do it like, you know. That's why the Mortal Kombat 95 film worked, because they did half the movie building up, and then the rest of it was the tournament.
Yeah.
And it felt like the tournament was a big deal.
Mm.
They can do that in this film by making the tournament a big deal for the main characters of the original game, while having the subplot of having more characters. You know, you introduce the likes of Fujin and Striker and Nightwolf, and have them not led, but have Cole Young be the gateway to them. Do you see what I mean? It serves a bigger purpose while you're expanding on the studio character and introducing more characters. It's the only way I can see it in my mind working.
Yeah, literally, it is literally the only plausible way of doing it.
I'd like to get people on side with that, you know. And I've been doing private, not private streams, but private calls, like I do with you every now and again.
Yeah.
And you know, I've had 4 or 5 people that say, "Oh, I hate Cole Young. No, I want him killed." And I've gotten to the point where, with my version of events, we've gone, "Yeah, I could enjoy the character then." I've totally flipped them. I've flipped them to the point where they're like, "Yeah, I could see your thing now." And no, if they did it your way, I wouldn't want him dead because it serves a purpose. You know, and I've got him out of that circle of hating the character. Oh, I want him dead in the sequel, to the point where, yeah, okay, I don't mind him in the sequel if they did it that way. You know, my way. My way. It's either my way or the highway. Okay, Todd Gardner. It's my way or the highway. Because I'm biased towards my own opinions.
We all have a bias. Everyone's got.
Oh, someone here says, oh, hang on, he says, I bet Quan Chi makes the sequel. Yeah, I'd have him in the sequel as the guy that's made the deal with Shang Tsung to have Outworld invade Earth, because in my eyes, Outworld is not bound by any rules of any tournament, so they can invade Earth at any time they want, which is the reason for the subplot.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So
Yeah.
you see how it all weaves into each other.
Yep.
That's how I'd introduce him, and I'd have Mark Dacascos as Quan Chi as well. I'm just going to throw it.
Oh yeah, it's Mark Dacascos. Yeah.
Johnny K says, I would trade Cole Young for Kenshi. Now, when it was acknowledged that, before the film come out, when it was acknowledged that Louis Tan is not Johnny Cage, I instantly thought he was Kenshi. Instantly. Because I thought back to all of his videos where he's playing with his swords. And I thought, okay, if he's not Johnny Cage, he's definitely Kenshi. And I put my life down on that, so I'm dead.
Yeah.
So I'm dead. You're talking to a ghost now. And I thought, he's got to be Kenshi, he's no one else. And then you realise that he's a completely new character, and I'm like, oh, why? And he just turned up a lot. It turned me off. It really did. It turned me off. I watched the film. Upon the second and third viewing of the film, I started to then twist my mind into thinking, hang on, they're going to want to make sequels. So how would they get out of this little predicament, or all them little predicaments? And that's why I filled the void, doing streams on solutions rather than just hating on it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to do, you know, you got the likes of, you know, shout out to Brusque Poet. You know, everyone shits on him, but he's entertaining. I find him entertaining. I find his takes entertaining, even though I kind of like, you know, commented. You know, I commented on a video where he's doing a back and forth with someone. You know, and he interacted with me, and I interacted back, and he didn't get heated, but you know, I'd like to speak with him about the film and talk about solutions and ideas, rather than just go, yeah, kill off Cole Young, and that's it. You know, it's not solutions.
Yeah.
I'd like to have Dynasty on as well. I don't know if you heard of him, Dynasty.
No.
He did videos on the Mortal Kombat movie. He done the games, and he does other things as well.
Yeah.
I like to get people like them on and just do interviews with them guys.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think of the movie, and you know, get their takes.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. You know, let them speak and you know, talk themselves into a corner. Just gotta do it. But again, I don't think I'm big enough to have those types of guys on. It'd be interesting though.
Yeah, it would certainly be interesting.
I mean, that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to do videos. I'm here to do live streams. I don't want to be a YouTuber. I just want to chat. That's all I want. Yeah,
it's like me. I'm not really too geared into doing YouTube. I tried for a little while with the paintings, but
you should do it again.
I might do. I'm considering. I've started Mortaro at the moment. I might do some streams with Mortaro, and then I'm doing my evil version of Cole Young on the side. So I may do some streams on that. We'll see how it goes.
It'd be interesting because I mean, I know the character Cole Young's getting a lot of shit, and he needs a bit of love, a little bit, just to offset it a bit.
No, I think it's an interesting challenge to see where you can take that character.
Yeah. I reckon, personally, I've solved it. I've solved the puzzle. You know, there's no challenge for me there because I've done it. But again, that's just mine. But this guy says he should have his soul sucked, just like Kung Lao did. Have his soul sucked. Oh, I don't know. You can't kill him off. That's the thing. Again, the series has backed itself into a corner where they can't kill him off now.
Why can't they kill him off? Because he's done his purpose.
He's got a family.
So?
What do you do with the family?
So?
I know, sorry, but do you want to hear my solution?
Go on then.
Now, they can't kill him off, but what I would do, now it's also laying groundwork in future films. Now, what if his family, to get his family out of danger and to have him out of Mortal Kombat for now?
Yeah.
To have him after the film, say after the film he survives and he talks to Raiden and says, Raiden, we're in constant danger and I don't think I can be away from my family all the time. I need to be with family, right? Is there somewhere you could send us to be safe for now? Until, you know, when you can call on me again, I can, you know, then come and help you. And then Raiden goes, I think there's a place. And then it's hinted that he sent him and his family for safety and to live their lives to the Order Realm. He sends them to the Order Realm. Now, not only does that open up for future films to open up the Order Realm, but it also opens up the Chaos Realm and links with Havoc. You're laying you're laying the groundwork, you're planting them seeds for future films. So here's the hint at the end of the sequel and say, right, I'll send you to a realm. I'll send you to a realm where you and your family will be safe.
Right.
He doesn't say anything, right? He just sends them there, right? And you think, oh, this is a nice place. Who greets them? Hotaro.
Interesting.
I am Hotaro. Welcome to Order Realm. And then, you know, cuts off. There you go. So, effectively, you haven't killed off Cole Young. You've just kept him to the side for a bit until the main storylines of the old games catch up. And then you bring Cole Young in later. You see what I mean?
I've got no problem with that. Yeah.
You saved him, and obviously it's going to be over a course of years, isn't it? So you can have his wife, you know, you can have her probably killed off, and due to an invasion of Chaos Realm and Havoc. So you can have Havoc in a rivalry with Cole Young and have his daughter be involved.
Yeah.
You know, again, because Havoc hasn't really got a nemesis, has he? So you can have, you know, if you want to bring, you know, have him invade Order Realm, and he kills Cole Young's wife or his girlfriend, you know, whatever it is. Give Cole Young and Havoc a reason to clash. Order Realm and Chaos Realm clash, and there's your reason. So in this sequel, you know, Cole Young says, I can't keep having my family in danger. Is there somewhere you can send us? You know, he says to Raiden, is there somewhere you can send us? And Raiden goes, I think I know a place. Sends them to Order Realm.
Right.
Again, I've got ideas that help this new incarnation of the franchise. That helps the studio as well as the fans. It pleases them both, I think. Oh yeah, King Solo says yeah, Dynasty. So he knows of Dynasty as well. Yeah, Johnny K says Dynasty's also, I love his channel. Yeah, so they all know about it. Johnny K also says, wonder how much of a budget the sequel had.
Was it 16 million? something like that.
I think it was 60 million.
Is that with the advertising and everything?
I don't know. I don't think it was. I think that's just for the movie
So it
itself.
would have been 100 million, 120 million, something
And
like
if you think about it, it's less money that they spent on this movie due to inflation than they did on the original movie.
Yeah.
I think with the inflation, I think essentially it's less money that they spent. I think they did. I think you know what I think. I don't think they had much hope for the movie. I don't think they did. I think that when Todd Gardner and his
At
production
studio level, they wouldn't have had much hope.
yeah, I don't think they had much hope.
Yeah,
But I think that,
but
Todd Gardner and their production team, they put literally everything into it.
yeah,
They kind of suffered a bit because of studio influence.
but that's it.
They did the best that they could, and looking for them, the quality of the film, in terms of the look of it, and you know,
The photography.
it helps. Nothing looked cheap.
No,
I don't think anything looked cheap.
no, it doesn't look cheap at all.
I think that helped.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
so
they'll get more money for sure. I would imagine they would, because it was quite successful. But
you think that now Warner Brothers would want to at least double it.
But the thing is, the more money it gets, the stakes go up. The more it's going to have to make back. So
Why?
they've really got to focus on how they're making this film.
The writing's got to be.
Because if it comes back with a lukewarm response and it doesn't make back like more than double,
It's a as they say here in Britain, shit or bust. It's shit or bust.
Yeah.
It's all resting on this sequel. They've got to nail it.
It's make or break, as far in my mind at least.
Yeah, that's the PG version. Make or break. Havoc could be working with Quan Chi. Don't bring in Havoc too early. It's too early. You want to expand on the storylines. Save the likes of Havoc, which is a fan favourite. He is a fan favourite. If you want to hint at Havoc in this next sequel, hint at Order Realm. And if people know that there's an Order Realm, then they know instantly that there's a Chaos Realm and that Havoc is there. You hint at it. Leave those hints. Drop them seeds. Drop them seeds. Plant it. Plant them seeds. Let it grow. Let them grow. You don't put everything into the next film. Otherwise, it's going to end up like a
shitty mess.
Battle for the Realms.
Yeah.
Or Battle for the Realms, yeah. It's going to end up like that, where it's just going to be a cluster. And everyone's going to be like, there's too much going on.
Yeah, that's a really bad outcome.
This guy's just come in. He's one of the old guard. And I don't know how long he's been in, but I'm going to go soon. You probably have to watch it at triple speed.
Better late than never, mate.
But yeah, it's just been an open stream.
We're just bantering. We're not really.
Yeah. I'm going to do more of these. It's open for anyone to come in. All they got to do is, ask for the link. Ask for the link. I'll give them the link either via Twitter, DMs, or whatever. Just come in and chat. But I need to do more of these just for interaction's sake. It's just interaction. I'd want more people to come in and express their ideas. Because on Twitter they write it on a and it's gone. They write it and it's gone. At least in a video, so people can see it and it's there forever. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here then. It's
sweet. It's been
an hour and 40 minutes, and
yeah.
I want to eat. I've not eaten. I'm hungry. I'm not angry. I'm just hungry. So I'm knackered. The next stream I'm gonna do, which Chris should know about, is with someone who it was meant to be with someone last time, but due to technical difficulties, it didn't happen, and that's with Mink, the director who was going to direct the Mortal Kombat 3 movie a decade and a bit ago.
Devastating.
That should be Thursday. That's this Thursday coming. which is it's funny because I watched the streams of Roundcast, and they're doing a stream at the bloody same time as well. And
I saw your talk on that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I can only go to the times of, you know, when I get back from work, it's not too late for me. And then Mink, where he is, it's not too early or too late for him. And he's a busy brother. He's a busy guy. I've found a time where I can just about get him.
Yeah.
And a day.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame, but
well, it would have been done
I
already.
can't change my times, and I don't expect Roundcast to change their time. It's just the way it is.
It is the way it is. There's not a lot that can be done about it.
I'll catch their stream after I've done mine.
Yeah.
So I will be that. My view will be theirs. My view will be theirs, as long as their view will be mine. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to that. I won't be so knackered. I won't be so laid back. I'll have some lights in the background as well. Got to make it, you know, got to up the production. So I've still got all my questions. I don't know how long I've got him for, so it's up to him how long he stays for. And hopefully there won't be any technical difficulties next time.
Yeah.
So there you go. So next Thursday. No, not next Thursday. Thursday coming. So whoever's watching now, Thursday, I'll be having Ming for I've called it a talk, but it's more like an interview, but it's a discussion as well. So it's not question time. I'll be having a discussion as well. I'll be trying to get some information out of them about what the third movie would have been. So we'll see. I'll let you go now, Chris, and I'll let everyone else go. Thanks for popping in. You know, you're one of my guys now, so I'll have you in. Every time I've got a stream, you say, "Oh, can I come in?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
No worries. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. So get some painting done, and then we'll discuss, you know, who you want to do next, or.
Well, I'm working for Tara at the moment, and I'm buried under him, trying to get him figured out. But yeah, it's going well.
Who did I say was? I remember you posted a picture in the chat, and you says, "Oh, it looks like Shinnok's animality," because from the games. I'm like, no, no, it's Motaro, and I was like, oh yeah, he's trying to merge the horse face into a human face. Yeah, I get it now. So we'll see.
It's an lucky one, but yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But how much of that have you got at the moment?
It's going to be different to the other pieces because obviously
he's a
centaur, so there's going to be probably two canvases for him. I'm doing the bust at the moment, side view and front view, and then I'll do one with his body in like a dynamic sort of pose. Yeah. So that's why I asked the question before in the last stream. I said, "Is his tail? Is it robotic, or is it?"
I've got an idea for his tail. I'll message you later. Also, I've got an idea. Yeah, I know you want to make things different, or you know, plan that more. So I've got an idea. I'll let you know. It's up to you if you want to use it, but you've got your own ideas.
Ideas.
Right. I'm gonna shoot off.
Yeah, me too. I need to get something.
I'm tired. I'm hungry. Right. Yeah. Thanks for dropping in. I want to thank all the guys for coming in. Thursday, I hope you all come in to hopefully see one of my biggest streams. It's going to be an interview with a top guy. So I'm honoured about that as well. So yeah, thank you everyone. Your view is mine. Thanks, Chris. You're, wait for the next one. Later, guys. Till Thursday. See you later. Bye-bye.